Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by, y'all. I am so excited. I'm about to start a project that I've been thinking about for a while. I did sort of a version of this over on my Patreon. So Patreons, y'all know about this, but I am going to read only free books for the next, I don't know, couple, 3 weeks. And I'm going to start right now. I am ootin' a boot, and I thought, you know what? I bet there are some of those little free libraries around where I am. So I pulled it up on the app, and sure enough, there are. So, y'all, we're going to start right now. If you're wondering why I'm sitting in the parking lot of some random place looking a little sweaty and bedraggled, it's because I've been running around all day, and it just occurred to me that I should start this right now because I'm in the middle of where there are probably a bunch of little free libraries. So we are going to head to one of those right now and go see what books we can find there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, little free libraries are those things that you see in people's yards that are like, I don't know, they're decorated all kinds of different ways, but you go and you look and there are free books in them. So you leave a book if you have a book, and if you need a book, you take a book. So I have books. I've been carrying books around in my car to leave in those little libraries just when I pass them, like on my way any old where. And so now I am going to donate some books either way, and I'm going to see if there are any books in there that I might want to read. So let's head out to one of those, one or maybe two of those, and see what we can find.
There's something that won't let me forget the way that you moved. You tattooed me with your lips. I wore you like perfume. We were like no other, two hearts on the edge, but we went from lovers to just being friends. Played me like a song stuck in your head, but you still get my blood rushing. Dance with me, baby, take away the pain. Dance with me, baby, you can lead the way. Dance with me, baby, a cure for the heartbreak. Dance with me and let this old record play. Let it play, baby. Let it play, baby. Dance with me and let this old record play. I know you see me cross the room, let's skip to the end. I wanna be what keeps you sleepless past 3 a.m. I know that we're toxic, but
Friends, we made it home. I am posted up outside. I got the felons out here, but I might end up relegating them to the inside if they aggravate me too. Y'all hear that? Seriously, it was nice and quiet out here. Now folks are building stuff anyway. I'm not even messing with it. Let me tell you what we got and what we're doing. So I think you saw at one of the little free libraries, I found this. So the first one, I got nothing. Well, then I found this one, The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan. Now, I have not read an Amy Tan book in literally 2 decades. I read The Joy Luck Club about 1,000,000 years ago, and all I remember about it was daughters and mothers and crying. That's like me crying. That's all I remember. So I grabbed this, and then, so this was at the second little library. Well, then I hit a couple more free libraries, and I got some other stuff, but I have to tell you what happened. So I'm driving, and I'm driving this way, and this way, and the police, I see an Explorer kind of car coming this way, and I notice it's black, and I notice the white on the side, and it's the coppers. So I look down quick, and I'm going 2 miles an hour over the speed limit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Well, I mean, and you got to watch them, right? So I watch the cop out of the corner of my eye, and I watch in the rear view as he swings over into and shoulders of the road here are like a full lane wide, I guess, because of plowing the snow. Anyway, so he swings over into that big wide shoulder, flips around and pulls up behind me. And I'm like, seriously, we're doing this? Okay. So I ease off the gas, don't hit the brake, because who doesn't know that trick? Ease off the gas and set my cruise control at, it's a 40-mile-an-hour speed zone. And I'm like, it's 40, right? I was going 42. I'm like, it's 40, right? Not 30. I'm going 2, not 10 over. So I set it for 40, whatever. I mean, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. Set my cruise at 40. And then I see a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. I'm like, all right, I'm golden. So we're cruising, And I figure he's just like running my tag and all that. And we're cruising, and he's like steady not pulling me over. And after a while, I'm like, dude, if we're gonna do this, like, let's roll. Like, pull me over, let's get this over with, because I got places to go. So driving, get to a four-way stop, slow down, stop, go, driving, get to my turn. So I turn left and he just goes straight through the intersection. He didn't care a thing in the world that I was there, how fast I was going. We just happened to be going in the same direction. Which, y'all, I probably drove him crazy going like I was spot on exactly 40 miles an hour, set my cruise control and was not coming off of it, which made me laugh because I don't know if you can see behind me, but the intern has a retired cop car, one of those, is it an Interceptor, the police Explorer? And he complains, I mean, and his is just like blacked out, like it's just black. Obviously it doesn't say like cops on it or nothing, but the intern complains because people will see it, or like he'll come up behind him and they slow down and go the speed limit and he cannot get anywhere because people always think he's the cops. So I laughed at myself after like I turned and the cop went straight and I'm like trying to like tangle with the cop. So anyway, that happened. Let's talk about this. So y'all saw that I got The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan, which we'll talk about this in a second. So then I hit another little free library where I found Call Your Daughter Home. Now this, okay, I don't know much about this, but I believe it's maybe something about some sisters in either Depression era or pre-Depression era, or like coming up on the Depression era in North Carolina. And I've heard this is one of those, like, if you love this, you'll love this. And it was, if you love, like, for fans of Where the Crawdads Sing and something else. What was it? Where the Crawdads Sing, and I can't remember what the other one was, but it was two books that I love. And I love Where the Crawdads Sing. I'll think of the other one in a minute and I'll tell you. But anyway, so I got this at another little, I almost said little, y'all know I call the little free library everything but that. So I got this at one. Well, then on the way to this one, I saw another one where I found, and y'all, this might be my favorite little free library because it's just cute. And I know they're all cute. So anyway, at the other one, like the second one, I found The Identicals by Ellen Hildebrand. Love her. Now, I'm not going to be able to read all these books in this video, I don't think, but because I have other ideas too. But so let me set these two aside and let's talk about Amy Tan, because this was like the first one. So I got home and I was thinking, y'all, this is mass market. Y'all know I hate a mass, like these, I might read the actual physical books. I just do not like mass market paperbacks. I don't know if it's the size, I don't know what it is. I just don't like them. So I was like, all right, let me look and see if I can find this on Libby. So I pull up my Libby app and y'all, my hold on the Heaven and Earth grocery store, which I've had on hold for like probably even months. I've had this on hold. My hold finally came due. Now, if you don't know what Libby is the app, Overdrive's app that you can use to check out ebooks from your library. And here's a link to the video that I did talking all about Libby and how to use it and all the things. But anyway, when you put a book on hold through the Libby app, once your hold comes up, you have 3 days to decide if you're going to either go ahead and check it out or like release the hold if you don't want the book anymore, or you can delay it, like say you don't want it for like 2 weeks or something. Well, I've been waiting on this so long, I was like, yes, please, I want it now. And because I checked it out from the library, that counts as being free. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the Heaven and Earth grocery store, because we have these books like physically at the house. So I can read these anytime. But this one, there's like a time limit on it. I think I have it for 14 days. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this like right now. Sitting out here with these felons, because y'all, it has been so hot. It's finally cooling off. It's very, can y'all see? I don't know if you can see. I have my pink glasses on. I don't know if you can see, but it's very smoky today. I think it's like clear blue skies. Hang on, let me show you. I think it's actually clear blue skies, but look, See how like it looks overcast? I think that's just smoke from the Canadian fires. So, oh, friends in Canada, I hope y'all are doing okay, because it is not nice here. It doesn't bother me. It smells a little weird. It doesn't bother me, but it really bothers the intern because he's got them bright blue eyes. He's a little sensitive to things like this. So anyway, but it's nice and cool. So I'm gonna sit out here in the coolness. I'm gonna start reading this book. I'm gonna drink my tea. And the felons are actually, usually they're all like wanting to go inside. They're actually enjoying the outside as well. So we're gonna sit out here. We're gonna read some books. We're gonna drink some tea. And this one, I think I owned this book because I think I recall hauling it at some point. It's in there. I'll find it. If I have it, I'll find it. I know where it might be on my bookshelves, but I believe it's about something about like there's I was going to say excavation site, but that's not really it. It's like a building site. Like they're clearing a site to build something somewhere in Philadelphia, maybe somewhere in Pennsylvania. I realize Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. Don't be a smarty. I don't know if it's actually in Philly or just like in Pennsylvania, but they find a dead body, and something about that. That's all I know. Something about the dead body. Maybe they're building the Heaven and Earth grocery store. I don't know. Let me start reading. I'll come back and let y'all know when I know something. Friends, I have exciting news. So first of all, I have an update on the Heaven and Earth grocery store, which this isn't even my exciting news or my update. I did find my book. So when we finish reading this, I can rotate this into the whole donate to the little free library stack. I got it right, y'all. I got the name right. Anyway, so I will tell you, you know what? Let me go ahead and tell you about that. So I have been reading. I now know what it's about. So it starts off, folks are breaking ground on I don't have a ponytail holder, breaking ground, I think it's on like a housing development or something in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. And they find a dead body that's in its hand. It's like clutching this like strange necklace, and so they're trying to figure out where the necklace came from or why the dead dude's holding it. And that's in the 70s. Like that happens in the 70s, and then that kicks us back into the story of the dude and how he comes to be holding the necklace. And so now I think we're in the 1930s in this Chicken Hill neighborhood in that like Pottstown, Pennsylvania area. And Chicken Hill is a poor, or like, I guess, working class area. And it's all like it's majority sort of Jewish and black and immigrant. And it's, I don't know, it's just interesting sort of how the people like work together and live together and interact. And it is, so far, I'm really like just along for the ride because there are so many characters. And like every time I think I have it kind of sorted and I know who's who, the story changes. And there are like new characters coming in, and like one person from this story that I thought I was following ends up over here doing something else with people over in this story, which is really kind of what it's like when you live in a neighborhood. Like folks are all up in each other's business and doing stuff together. But anyway, so for right now, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the writing. I don't really know what the story's about other than that it's this neighborhood, this sort of working class neighborhood. And I think it's the 30s. And it really does kind of center around this Heaven and Earth grocery store. And I don't want to say too much because this is one of those that you enjoy. Like I said, I'm along for the ride, and you kind of enjoy I think this is going to be one of those you either love it or you hate it. And I'm really enjoying it so far, but it might get tiresome. So, and if you love it, you enjoy the sort of development of, or like meeting the characters as you go. And there are some really interesting, very, very colorful characters. So I don't want to say too much, but there are definitely like some good and some bad people developing. And I will tell you about one character. So there's this little boy named Dodo or Dudu, who's, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I don't think it's spoilers. So he's deaf, and he is a little black boy, and he's deaf. And I can't remember, I don't know if we know yet why he's orphaned, but, and the state wants to put him in like an institution because they say that because he's deaf, he needs to be in this like special school, which is locking him away in an institution. And the neighborhood is like kind of starting to take care of him. So I think maybe if nothing else, I'm gonna keep reading just to see, because I think the story is gonna, at least part of the story is gonna follow him. And that's part of the challenge for me right now is I don't know who we're following. Like, I don't know which part, like which characters the story is following, because it's kind of just like a Rorschach pattern, like you're just all over the place. But anyway, Rorschach pattern, whatever that is. Anyway, so, but I'm enjoying the writing. It is so rich. The characters are so colorful and really just so beautiful. I mean, it's kind of like, you know how, and I know I'm all over the place, speaking all over the place. You know how when you go to like visit an older relative and like you're sitting on the porch drinking the tea and listening to the relatives and they're talking about people, and it's people that you never met a day in your life, and they're telling you stories about these people like you knew them and you grew up with them too, like Fat Elmo, who like always brought 3 sandwiches to school for lunch, but he'd always give 1 sandwich to his best friend, Skinny Pete, because Skinny Pete never had any food because Skinny Pete's dad always gambled away the vegetable money. And like the relative is telling you about these people like you went to school with them. That's what this book feels like. It feels like sitting on your old uncle's porch while he's sitting there steady telling you these stories about folks that you never met a day in your life, but you're enjoying the stories anyway. Exactly the feeling I'm getting from this book. But so I'm completely invested in these people that I ain't never met a day in my life. So I'm gonna stick with this, but y'all, that is not, I mean, I needed to catch all up on this, but that is not why I came here. I came here to tell you that I got a notice from Libby this morning that, hang on, you know what, I was trying to figure out like if I could show you this and you could see it. I don't need to. I'm just going to record my screen and tell you that my hold on Daisy Haites is available. So it's the audio of Daisy Haites, because I have the book, but I want to listen to it. So remember, Daisy Haites is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe. So I'm going to show you anyway. I can't help myself. So I'm going to continue reading this, but I generally have like an eyeballs on pages or like eyeballs on words, either like pages or Kindle, probably both, book going. But I also generally have an audiobook going so I can listen to it like when I'm in the car or like doing the dishes or what, you know, doing the dishes, scrubbing the floor, washing it, whatever, while I'm moving about doing things. So I will be listening to Daisy Haites and reading Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. Obviously not simultaneously, because then my brain would explode, but I'm so excited. And I didn't plan to do this right now, to do Daisy while I'm doing that, but y'all, that's one of the things that comes along with free is sometimes free isn't on your schedule. So I'm so excited. I got this notice while I was in class and was like, I had to wait to get here and tell y'all about it. So I'm about to go get on the bike, and I'm going to keep reading Heaven and Earth, but then I need to run out and drop some things in the UPS box so I can listen to Daisy while I do that. So I will be back later and I will update y'all on my progress all along the way. All right, y'all, let's see if I can do this. I'm taking the felons out for a comfort break, but I want to visit with y'all and give you a little update so that, well, you'll see. So hang on, dang it. I was gonna sit there, but the sun is right there. So I can't do that. Hang on, change plans. All right, I think that'll work. We can sit over here instead. Anyway, so I finished the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. Let me see if I can do this without flipping myself out this chair. Finished the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. I'm glad that I read it, but I'm not sorry that it's over, because y'all, that was exhausting. I told you it was a bunch of characters, felt like I was along for the ride. I don't feel like I told you much about the story at all. So it starts in like 72 or something. And then we go back to the 30s in the same Pottstown area in Pennsylvania. to this Chicken Hill neighborhood around the Heaven and Earth grocery store, which is run by Shauna, who is married to Moshe. Now, Moshe runs I don't know, it's like a juke joint, like a jazz club. And Shauna runs the grocery store. And he becomes successful and like wants to leave the neighborhood, but the grocery store's like the hub of the neighborhood. So she ain't having it. Like, she's not leaving their neighbors. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you much, but the crux of the story is how these people's lives are so interwoven. And it's European immigrants and blacks living together, and how these people in these sort of minority neighborhoods like work together and sort of struggle with and against each other at times. It's just, like I said, I'm not going to tell you much, but it's just really good and really charming. And the characters are so much fun and so colorful, and it is exhausting. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sorry that it's over. There are some things I was going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you, is I really enjoyed it. I said, I don't know if it was in this video or another video, where I said that I was going to start actually star ranking books, because I'm just going to accept that Beartown is a 6 stars, and then now we can go back to a 5-star rating system. So I think I would probably give this, I don't know, maybe a 3.75. I'm going to have to sit with it for a while. But right now, because I'm so exhausted by it, I think I would give it maybe a 3.75, 3.85, because there were some characters that I really enjoyed. This little boy, Dudu or Dodo, he was worth struggling through it just to follow his story. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, a 3.85-ish. If you read it, I'm warning you, just be ready to feel like you're along for the ride for significant portions of the book. So with that being done, we're gonna move on. And I'm listening to Daisy Haites, which is so much fun. It is so like Magnolia Parks all over again. And if you've read Magnolia, you've probably already read all of the books. But if you've only read Magnolia Parks, remember that in Magnolia Parks, you get the sense that Daisy doesn't like Magnolia. In Daisy Haites, there's a little bit of overlap with Magnolia Parks. And I say that like everybody knows who and what Magnolia Parks is. So Magnolia Parks, I read Magnolia Parks in another video and loved it. Y'all, it is this just vapid, silly book about this rich girl. It's like the British version of Gossip Girl written in a book. It is so fun, and it's so fun if you're ready for that. If you're in it for anything else, you're gonna hate it. And Daisy Haites is just like the next part of that, and it overlaps with Magnolia a little bit, but mostly it's just Daisy. Like some of this, the characters are the same. Like, it's all that same group of friends and like frenemies. But yeah, it's Daisy. So anyway, I'm listening to that, and so I'm finna start reading another free book. And I was gonna air quote free, but it really is free. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read a book in Kindle Unlimited, which I was gonna do like technically it's free because it's included in my Kindle Unlimited membership, but y'all, it really is free because I got 3 months of Kindle Unlimited with my Kindle that I just bought. So it really is free. And I need to check and make sure the book that I want to read was in Kindle Unlimited, and y'all know how they move them about, but it's Quicksilver. So let me look and make sure that Quicksilver is still in there. Hang on, y'all pause. Oh yeah, there it is. See, I don't know if y'all can see that. I guess I could just put a picture of it here, but anyway, so I'm not at all really sure what this is about, but I think it's, what do they call it? Romantasy? Like it's a fantasy romance. This dog is chirping at me like he's ready to go inside, so I need to get up and he had grass stuck to his head. I need to get up and let him inside. Anyway, something about a human girl and a fey prince or something. I really don't know. I don't have any idea, but I've heard that it's good and that the next book is coming out in November. And y'all, I am not going to get behind in this series like I have in like every other series that I've wanted to read, that by the time I start reading it, there's like 8 books out. So I am going to take these dogs inside. I'm gonna go eat a sandwich and make myself some tea and start reading Quicksilver. So I will be back maybe this afternoon. It is oh y'all, the smoke is starting to clear. You can actually see the clouds. So I thought it seemed a little better out here. So I'm gonna enjoy this not quite as smoky weather and read some Quicksilver, and I'll be back probably tomorrow and let you know what I know and what we think. All right, y'all, I thought that since we finished the Heaven and Earth grocery store, and I know I didn't read the actual book, but I had the actual book, and now that I've read it, I thought that we could go ahead and run it up to the little free library, and I would take these Colleen Hoover books that I have, because if you're over on my Patreon and you saw the video that I did over there, if you know, you know, I'm ridding myself of the Colleen Hoover. So I thought we would run over there, drop these off, maybe see what they have. But look, we have a whole list of books we need to read before we can get out of this video. So probably not going to do any more little free library books, because we already have that one we're going to read together. But let's go drop these off and let's talk about Quicksilver, which I have made significant progress on already. And I'm wondering, I don't know, because I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I can't, you know how, okay, let me tell you what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it's a YA book. And you know how, you can tell by the typeset of a YA book that it's YA? Well, I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I can't tell by the typeset if it's young adult or not, but it seems not shallow, but just not fully developed, which I guess is shallow. Let me tell you what's up. So it hits, we already talked about how the book 2 is coming out. Did I tell you November or sometime? So we already know that it's one of at least a duology, if not a series. So there's all the typical world building. So you got to kind of give it a break and acknowledge that there's going to be a lot of that going on. And it might not be as good as the later books, because there's just a whole lot of introducing of stuff. There's a lot of that. But I get the sense from the jump that there's going to be some fairy porn or fae porn or something, just the way that Sienna, is that her name? Is the main the female main character. And just kind of the way she talks, you're she gonna get busy with somebody. So she is a member of this poor, bedraggled, broke down, broke, dirty, thirsty society. And at the beginning of the book, she does something she should not have done. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and gets sucked into this other world that until she gets sucked into it, she didn't think existed. And it is the world of the fae. And she gets sort of embroiled in this battle that the fae are in. And the Fisher King, who is the leader of the fae, she gets bound to him and has to do something for, not something naughty, y'all get your minds out the gutter, but she has to do something for him before she can go back to her world. And that's kind of I think the gist, I'm about halfway through, and that's the gist of the thing so far. And it's a little bit a lot. I think if you go into it, and I didn't, but I figured this out pretty quickly. If you go into it acknowledging that there's going to be a lot of world building, then it's all good, because it's a little bit chaotic. They give you a lot of structure very quickly, but that's how world building works. They have to build the world so then you can exist in it for the duration of the series. So there's that. So I'm okay. Now that I recognize what I'm reading, it's okay. It's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's good. And I can definitely see if that's what the author is doing, I can definitely see that it's going to be better as it goes along. So I'm trying to decide. I think we're going to go all the way down to the far library, because the one up here, which we didn't stop at the other day because the popo was tailing me, but they weren't really tailing me. They were just going in the same direction, but you couldn't have convinced me of that at the time. But this one up here that we didn't stop at, when I stopped at it before, it was slap full. Yeah, that's the one that was slap full of whatchamacallits, mass market paperback. So we're going to go up here to the one that I thought was very cute. Anyway, what the world am I talking about? So the characters, I don't know what I was saying, so I'm just going to start like I know what I'm saying. Characters are very interesting. The banter between the main characters is so good. I assume it's going to be an enemies to brown chicken, brown cow, but we haven't gotten that far yet. But they're definitely enemies at this point, and the banter between them is really good. And y'all know I can look past a bunch of stuff if the banter is good. So I'm already not telling y'all anything, so I'm probably not going to come back and, well, I was going to say not come back and tell you anymore. I'm not going to come back and not tell you anymore. Dance around telling you anything in this book. Maybe I'll come, you know what I'll do? I'll finish reading it. If I feel a need to come back and tell you anymore, I will. But otherwise, I will finish this one and then come back, because we're probably, oh, y'all, do we want to do this? We're probably going to read that Amy Tan book that I got at the Little Free Library over on the other side of town. I know. Yeah, Amy Tan, well, I haven't read Amy Tan in 2 decades, but when I did, it broke my heart. So I have a feeling this is going to be sad. What's it? The Bone Setter's Daughter? So, I know. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to go to this other Little Free Library, and we'll see if there's anything. So, okay. Let me make a whole thought. My next book will be a Little Free Library book. If I don't get anything today, it'll be The Bone Setter's Daughter for sure. But if I get something today, then we'll decide if we're going to read what I get today or The Bone Setter's Daughter. Even though, y'all, when I was leaving the house, when I told the intern I was going to come drop these books off, he said, okay, don't, and I thought he was going to say, don't get any more books, just drop those off. But what he said was, don't get kidnapped. It's like, are folks kidnapping folks from the Little Free Libraries? He's like, no, I just don't get kidnapped. I was like, thinking like, am I going to have you like ride cover while I run out to the Little Free Library? I'm like, what are you even thinking? So, and y'all see this like cute little neighborhood where I'm going to the Little Free Library. Like what? I don't know. I think he's been playing too many like, what is it? First person shooter role playing games. Anyhow, so I'm going to do that. I've been listening to Daisy Haites. Y'all know this. I'm enjoying it so much. I think I told you, well, I've told y'all, it's the second in the Magnolia Parks series, and if you think Magnolia is vapid and full of like as many toxic relationships, like relationships as toxic as they can possibly be, oh no. Daisy, did I tell y'all that Daisy's family is an like legit organized crime family, and like people just know it? Like that's just the premise of the thing. Y'all are looking that way. I don't know what you're seeing. I'm just not going to mess with it. But yeah, like that's the premise of the whole thing. Like people just know that they're the organized crime family. What? And then yeah, so we have toxic relationships inside of that whole thing. So good. It is. I don't know why I love it so much. Like they're the kind of relationships that if your friends were in, like if you had a friend who was Daisy Haites doing what Daisy Haites is doing, you would take her by the shoulders and just shake her. But since it's Daisy, you're like, oh no, it's okay. So yeah, loving it. So let me get off here. I'm going to listen to Daisy while I drive back and forth to the library, and then I'm going to go home and I'm going to read. So I'm going to finish Quicksilver. You know what? Let's do this. Let me go to I know I keep like changing my mind. Like y'all are like telling me things. Let me go to the library. If I get anything good, I'll come back and tell you. Otherwise, I'm going to listen to Daisy on the way home, and then I'm going to finish Quicksilver. I'll come back and check in and let you know I'm starting Bone Setter's Daughter, all right? So let me go, and I will see y'all again at some point. Friends, okay, so I have finished. I've wrapped up everything that I was working on, and so now we got to move on. So I finished Quicksilver. Did I call the dude the Fisher King? Wasn't that a Robin Williams movie where he was some homeless guy in New York? Back in like the 80s or 90s or something. I don't know. I might be totally making that up, but I think I called the big hunky fey dude in Quicksilver the Fisher King. It's Kingfisher, right? Anyway, finished it. It's good but not great. Like I said, I believe there's a lot of world building. There's some big hunky fae, which I mean, there's not much going wrong with that. There's some spice. I told you it was going to be, did I say fairy porn? It's fae porn because they're big and hunky and Celtic, and yes, thank you. There's lots of tropes. There's friends to enemies tropes. There's the ending. You're like, wait, what? But it's, you know, it's a trope. Like you see it like as it's fixing to happen, you're like, oh, I know what's about to happen here, but it's a surprise. So it's good. I enjoyed it. I will read the next one when it comes out. Y'all, it is seriously not supposed to, I mean, it's overcast, but it's not supposed to rain until Wednesday, and I think I'm feeling sprinkles. So anyway, let's get our business done here. Speaking of getting business done, Daisy, oh my God, I almost said Daisy Buchanan, y'all. I seriously have PTSD from Daisy Buchanan in The Great Gatsby. Daisy Haites. So I finished listening to Daisy, and just when I thought, again, like I said, with Magnolia Parks, when you think that the relationships in a book can't become any more toxic, you start, like, from reading Magnolia Parks, you read Daisy Haites, and holy Moses, the toxicity, and then it just becomes more toxic. And it occurred to me, I don't know if I ever said this, but there's a lot of sex, but it's not open door. It's, I mean, they talk about it and you know what they're doing. And there are some words that you're like, oh, all right then, but it's not, it's not graphic at all. I don't know if this is, like everything I'm always like, I don't know if this is YA. Quicksilver was not YA. Like did I say there was spice in there? There was spice in there. I mean, not like serial killer spice, but let me say a couple things. Both of these books, I don't know why I have three fingers up for both of these books. Both of these books, y'all, I don't know nothing about no triggers, because like I said, I get pissed off at stuff, but I don't get triggered. Like Daisy Buchanan triggers me. The name Daisy triggers me, which is ridiculous. But please do, like, if you're sensitive to stuff, please do check the trigger warnings on these books, because I'm certain that the Magnolia Parks series has trigger warnings. And Quicksilver probably does too, because a lot of things happen in that book. I don't know if I would actually call it bondage, but there's some folks are restrained. That's all I'm going to say. So check it. Should I not have said that? Is that triggering? Sorry. I mean, I figure I trigger folks all the time. So if you made it this far, hearing that somebody gets chained up somewhere ain't going to trigger you. So Daisy, whew, my goodness, it's very good. I told you they're not serial killers. They are, I love me some serial killers. I just loaned out Butcher and Blackbird, and it just came back yesterday, which is why I'm all like, oh, serial killers. I know, I'm crazy. But anyway, and now my house is making noises. We got to move on. So I enjoyed Daisy very much. I'm gonna go ahead, I think I have, so now I'm a little bit obsessed with reading and listening to books for free. Like, I don't want to pay to listen to books anymore now that I've started listening to them on Libby. So I think I went ahead and put the next book in the Magnolia Parks-averse on hold in Libby, and it's like 5 weeks out. So I have time to do a bunch of stuff before that comes due, because as soon as it comes up, I'm gonna listen to it. So anyway, let's talk about, we're gonna read one more free book, and here are our choices. So at first I was straight up like, all right, we're gonna read that Amy Tan book. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to be this desperately sad, because I don't know a thing in the world about it, but I know that Amy Tan is gonna make me very, very sad. Did y'all hear that? It just stopped, so I can stop yelling at you, even though I have like a lavalier mic on. I don't know. Anyway. Amy Tan tends to tell stories about like Chinese lore and things that happened, and especially mothers and daughters in Chinese history. It's going to be very, very sad. So this is a choice. Another choice we have is an Ellen Hildebrandt book. Now, her books, I mean, look at the cover of this book. It's going to be beachy and fun. Probably somebody's going to cheat on somebody, get their heart broken, but it's not going to be like heartbreak like A Daughter Born to a Chinese Family in the 1950s. Like, okay. So, I mean, this is an option, but I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out. But the other option is Call Your Daughter Home. And this one, again, I think is like North Carolina, South Carolina, like that. What do you call that part of the, it's not really like Southeast. It's like the middle part of the East Coast, but no, almost a pre-Civil War, no. Pre-Depression, like probably boll weevil, like that whole boll weevil thing. So, I mean, these two are going to be really sad, but like different kinds of sad. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's find some ratings on them and just read the higher rated book. So let me look and see. I'll check Goodreads, and then I've also got, hang on, let me see. So let's check Goodreads. So on Goodreads, The Bonesetter's Daughter has 131,985 ratings, and that's a high 4. Ooh, it's a 4 flat. Okay, all right, that's good. That's very respectable. Joy Luck Club is 397, which was really, really good. Okay, so that's Goodreads. 4 flat on Goodreads. Let's check Call Your Daughter Home. 42,533 ratings. Ooh, it's a 4.22. That is significantly higher. Okay, this is winning on Goodreads just for drill. Let's check on, I don't know, let's check Storygraph. So I'm going to check The Bonesetter's Daughter first. All right, so Bonesetter's Daughter, that's 7,303 reviews. It's a respectable number. It's got a 3.89 on Storygraph. All right, let's check Call Your Daughter Home. 3.89. Call Your Daughter Home is, 4.09. Okay. Consistently better. So we're going to read Call Your Daughter Home. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous, but we're going to read this and that's going to be it. So let me get started on this and I'll come back and let you know what I know when I know something. Friends, I've been reading can you see these felons? Hang on. Let me put these two inside. Hang on a second. All right. Seriously, they're like naughty children. I told them, you don't want to go out there. It's too hot. Them fur coats, you don't want to be outside. They're like, oh no, we want to go out. We want to go out. The minute we get out here, they're like, oh, it's so hot. We don't want to be outside. I know. Cheering. What are you going to do? Anyway, let's talk about this book. So, and there's the wind. All right, let's talk about this book before this wind starts really howling. Call Your Daughter Home. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm about a third of the way through, and I was going to keep reading, but I was like, I should probably stop and talk about this before I get too far into it. So it's about, I don't know if I knew anything about it when I first taught, like before I started reading it. So it's about this woman, Gertrude, who, I don't know, like down on her luck, she is desolate. She is desperate for help. She just needs help. She's got 4 daughters. She's poor. Her husband's beating on her. So she has to do something. And I'm not going to tell you what she does, but she does something. And we end up involved with, the story is about Gertrude and 2 other women. So Gertrude is this poor white woman in the 1920s, mid-1920s in South Carolina. So she's this poor white woman. And we meet a first-generation freed slave woman named Retta, and then this rich woman named Annie. And their 3 stories, like it's the same timeline, but it's told in alternating first-person perspectives of the 3 of them, and their lives sort of intertwine. I'm not going to tell you how, but their lives intertwine, and it's interesting the way that the lives of these very, very different women are very, very similar. Like, I just read this part and I hesitate to tell it, but it's just so brilliant that 2 of the characters, so they're all mothers, and 2 of the characters, it flips back and forth between their 2 perspectives. And they talk about, it's about pregnancy and about babies and about the completely different reaction that both of these characters have to finding out about not the same baby, about different babies, but it's just so brilliant the way that these women are so different, and there are things about them that are so very much the same and things about them that are completely different. It's absolutely brilliant. They're all very, very strong and very broken in so many different ways, but I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I'm about a third of the way through. I don't think I'm going to come back and talk anymore about it until I'm done, because there's nothing I want to tell you about it, because I want you all to read it because it's brilliant, but I want you to find the things out on your own. So that is all that I'm going to tell you about this, but I'm glad that we picked this. And y'all, let me tell you this. When I first started reading it, I was like, this is the saddest, most desperate, like, I don't even know how to describe. I mean, it is like, it makes you so sad and so desperate for this woman and her kids that I was like, I cannot believe, like, I don't know if I can read this. Like, it is so sad and like awful, not like bad writing, but awful in the way that it makes you feel. So if you read it, like, be prepared for that, but it's good. Like, it is so good. It is so, like, get through that, because the book is so good. It's worth making your way through those feelings of despair to get to the real story. But yeah, y'all, at first I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, and I don't know the last time I DNF'd a book, but yeah, I was like, oh, this is hard. But anyway, so I'm gonna go and read some more, and I'll be back in the end and let you know what I think. Friends, I am shooketh. I've been, oh my goodness. Okay, so let me calm down. I knew this was like, I told you the book started like it was so, not dark, but it was like, it was so sad and so tragic that I was like, I'm not sure I can do this. Well, so then we got through that and things started skipping right along. Y'all, it just took such a dark turn. I am shooketh. Like, I am bothered. And now I have a bunch of things I have to do, and I can't, I mean, I'm going to keep reading, but I can't keep reading right now. So now I have to, like, go out into the world and not know, and just not know. And just, so yeah, I needed somebody to know that. So I'm telling y'all that I'm shooketh, I'm upset, and I'm very, very bothered. So I'm definitely not coming back until the end of the book to tell you anything else, but oh my gosh, y'all, this thing has gotten right up next to me. And yeah. So dark, so much. Please, please, for the love of all that's holy, if you're going to read this book and you're the type to be triggered by really anything, check the trigger. There's no cannibalism so far. That's really all that I can say. As far as trigger warnings, that one won't be on here, but there are lots of others. So yeah, check trigger warnings, but it's really, yeah, I mean, it's not Where the Crawdads Sing. Like, that book is epic, but it's very, very good. It is very much like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, now I have to go work. I gotta go work. Now I have to go, after all this, now I have to go work. I know. I'll be back when I'm done. Bye. All right, y'all. I made it through Call Your Daughter Home. Oh my word. So I got over my, whatever I was having, over my shooketh. And I mean, I was like I was shooketh. And then we had to deal with that whole thing. And so the ending, obviously I'm not going to tell you anything about anything, but I'm just going to say that once you get to that, like, something shocking happens and you're like, ew, close, but then you have to keep reading, because, like, there's nothing that can happen to undo what has happened, like what's been done, but there is sort of vindication. Like, it's good. That's all I'm going to say, is it's good. Like, somebody does something bad and then there are consequences and comeuppances, and things work their way out. Like, as soon as that happens, you're like, oh yeah, all of these other things make, like, a lot of things come together when you see that. So I can't, I'm dancing around because I can't say anything about what I can't say, but it's very good. And the bits of it that as you're reading, you're like, why is that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is that? It totally makes sense. Once you get to the part, it totally makes sense. So it's very, very good for free. I totally, like, once I really got into this, I forgot I was reading for free. So y'all, my reading for free experiment, I would say, was a complete success. And now I am obsessed with, I listened to Daisy Haites. So I did, y'all know, because like this has been weeks for me, but it's only been like 45 minutes for you, which I know is a long time, and I'm going to stop talking. But I did listening on Libby, reading on Libby, reading from the little free library, and reading on Kindle Unlimited. And so now I'm obsessed with trying to like time my listening, like reading on Libby. That's one thing, because I've got like reading on Libby, reading on Kindle Unlimited. Like I have a lot of eyeballs on pages or like eyeballs on Kindles books to read, but the listening, the timing, like checking out a book or putting a book on hold on Libby and having it come up when I'm ready to listen to a book, that takes skills. So now I'm obsessed with putting books on hold and having them come up when I'm ready to listen to a book and not paying for books to listen to anymore. I know, y'all, it's the little things in life, but anyway, that's all I got. Let us know in the comments, do you use any of these services, any of the, like actual, I know Kindle Unlimited isn't really free, but mine was free, remember, because I got 3 free months with my last Kindle that I bought. But the little free library, Libby, checking out stuff from your actual library, what do you do to actually, and there are lots of places you can get books online that really are free, like Project Gutenberg and all of those, which we've talked about before. So do you utilize sources of text, either like written or audio, to read or listen for free? Let us know in the comments. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me through this whole adventure. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos over on Fit Danielle Eats at the beginning of every week, with some book videos over here sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.